Hi, I'm Keith Thompson. I'm here with Glenn Hughes, the voice of rock, the Funkmeister, as he blazes a trail across Eastern Europe before he hits Liverpool on Saturday, June the 7th. That's the first time he's actually played in Liverpool since Deep Purple split up in 1976 under the influence of sex, drugs and musical differences. Well, my pass for the F.U.N.K Tour says access all areas. Let's put that to the test.
I'm really happy because it's not a complete departure for me, but I'm really going from what was once classic rock into a homeland territory for me, which is the birth of my music, which is funk rock. So for me, the tour is pressing and pushing all the buttons to do that, and not relying on old material from my band Deep Purple to do the future. So the future for me is new, fresh music which I'm writing now, and it's the key to the door for me. Whereas I used to see in the early 90s a lot of male older Purple fans and Glenn fans, and now it shifted where I see mid-20s, even sometimes a lot of teens, and a lot more girls than I used to see. I think that's because the music is more modernized and it's more today. I think the groovy kind of stuff and the soulful stuff is a little bit more akin to the younger audience, you know. Roger Glover said to me a few years ago, he said, you know, in Burn and Stormring, you can't hear the bass, and listening back to it, I'm kind of bass deaf anyway, you can't really hear it as much as you can on funk. So I wanted this to be a bass. My band actually live is very bass driven, as Yes is bass driven, as The Who was bass driven. And you know, so this you know is very, very important. The bass guitar is very important. This album is very much a bass record, you know. I come from the 60s, James Jamerson, Carol Kaye, the Detroit bass players, to Paul McCartney, to the wonderful Andy Fraser from Free. Those are the ingredients that I used to listen to. My audience primarily wants to hear these songs, the new songs, in the live format, because of the intense groove of Crave and First Underground and Love Communion, We Shall Be Free, Never Say Never, Oil and Water. Those songs are key to the new sound and the new set list.
You make me say, just like a falling bird, there's gonna be a change in the weather inside this crazy beat. Now I know I'm free.
You know, I'd been on tour with Purple that whole winter from Honolulu on to Liverpool, and you know, sex, drugs and rock and roll killed Mark IV, and I was pretty much heavily boozed and coked up on that run, and Liverpool was the last show, and it wasn't great. It was a sad way to finish. We were all tired and we were all burnt out. Liverpool was the last gig for me where, you know, it was a difficult. It was a sad moment. Even in your 20s, you cannot be completely stoned because you can't deliver the emotional value of the song and performance. Yeah, it's kind of cool to get high, or kind of cool to be drunk when you're in your 20s, and you know, if you're not addicted like I was. But it's sad when I look at old reels and footage and hear stuff that we were all pretty screwed up, you know, and it's kind of sad. I love this city simply because without, and look, how many people have said the Beatles from Liverpool? It's so huge to me as a young boy when I was 12, with, you know, all that stuff going on ITV and BBC, and as a lad coming home from school waiting for the Beatles to come on. Well, I'm looking forward to come back in this amazing year, capital of culture. You know, it's a city that is being majestically rebuilt with a fine architecture, keeping in touch of the old and the new, and they're such a proud people, Liverpudlians, and I've got a lot of friends that are Liverpudlians, and you know, I love it up there.